welcome back. We're honoring the dads in our lives all this week as we gear up for Father's Day 2014. And today we're catching up with some cool dads around town to see what they enjoy most about raising families here in Western New York. We are joined by Kiss 98.5 morning show host Nicholas Pickles, as well as Sabres broadcaster Brian Duff and social media and communication expert Jason Malika rounding out the panel this morning. Thank you all so much for being here today. Let's start at the end with Jason and just tell us about your kids to start things off.
I have a soon-to-be 6-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl, and we live out in Newfane, and they keep my wife and my time pretty stacked with activities and school and everything else.
6 and 7.
Yes.
Brian, everyone who follows you on social media knows that you have 2 daughters.
Yeah, I do. 9-year-old Isabel and 7-year-old Rhiannon, and lovely wife Leilon, who somehow pulls it all together when I'm not around, which is the key to all of it.
And Nicholas Pickles is also the dad to 2 girls.
I have 2 girls, as you do. I have a 2-year-old little Lola, and then 7-year-old, almost 8, Sophie. And yeah, I would say they keep us pretty busy.
So let's start with you now. What kind of things do you like to do when you have off time as a family?
It's never up to me. It's clearly about the kids. I mean, seriously, they run the joint. So, you know, it's, for instance, yesterday there was a Musketeer show going on in the driveway, so I had to play the part of the announcer, the host, then the other Musketeer fighting with her with swords, and then close the show and watch her sign autographs. So this is any given day there is something going on, stage production, just whatever's going on.
And Brian, you're new to the area. You and your family like to go on adventures to kind of get to know what's cool around here.
Yeah, we do. I feel bad I'm not involved in some of these productions.
I will invite you.
I think
we need audience.
I think it's good. My girls are able to, you know, open and close the show on their own, and they don't need me to perhaps interject, which is maybe a reflection of what they think of my career too. But I'll say this: no, we do try to get out as much as possible. For me, I just love finding new places in Buffalo, and I think the best thing we did was during the Olympic break last year, just kind of went on a taste of Buffalo. Instead of going out of town, we just went to different restaurants all week. It was a blast.
And Jason, same for you. Do you find that your schedule and your job, like Brian and Nick, impacts your schedule with your family too?
Sometimes, but you know, I think our kids sort of dictate at times what we're going to do. I know, you know, between my wife Michelle and I, we'll juggle things with the kids. You know, once they get to school, they have gymnastics, or one has t-ball. So, you know, with my son, it's more or less, you know, oh, I want to watch this superhero show, or I want to watch this on TV with sports. And then my daughter's just like, all right, go ahead. You know, it's just sort of run with it. So we sort of balance it out by, if they dictate a little bit, but then we sort of try to take control as much as possible.
That's great you get some control. That is, I'd love to know how that happens.
My wife has the control, in a good way, you know.
But you all have really visible jobs. You know, you guys are both broadcasters. Jason, you work with clients who are always going out to different events. Do you think that your kids each have a grasp of what you do for a living, and what do they think about that?
Brian?
I think they do far more now than before we moved here. I think before, like with NHL Network, you're more on, you know, a national or international stage, but it doesn't have that local connection to the community that you live in. And I think the girls really learned that very quickly once we moved here, because I think more of their classmates would know what Dad was doing. So I think that has probably helped them a little bit to, I don't know, just embrace being in a new town, you know, and I think they love it. I hope they love it. I'm pretty sure they do.
And Nick, what about you? Do you think that your girls think everyone's dad's on the radio?
Lola doesn't have a clue what's going on with that. She just, you know, we have fun. Sophie's a little bit older, and she knows what we do. And what's funny is that we've gone to, you know, I'll bring her to a show or a concert that's, you know, kid appropriate. And once we go backstage, or she'll help me introduce, she wants to do that every show we go to. So she's like, why aren't we on stage introducing da-da-da-da? So it's a weird little thing. But yeah, we go places, and she kind of starts to understand why a lot of people just know me, or I know them, or whatever, because we do a lot.
And Jason, you work in the social media technology fields. Technology is such a big part of kids' lives these days. Are each of your children involved in technology? What kind of gadgets do they have?
They have, you know, we'll share our iPads at home with our kids, and my daughter is old enough now. She has an iPod, but it's very, you know, restricted. We don't let her do everything on there, but she has apps, you know, Disney and Barbie and all that stuff. So, you know, they have an idea what's going on, you know, and we also don't want to shelter them either. We don't want them to feel like just because we have an iPad, they can't use it. They'll watch Netflix, the kids shows on Netflix. We try to let them do as much as possible, but, you know, we're also reining in a little bit too.
Us too. We kind of wrestled with that early on, but at the same time, when you look at what things like iPads and tablets and all sorts of mobile devices have to offer as far as creativity, and you know that they're going to use those down the road, why not allow them to be somewhat of an expert in all of the stuff that these things allow you to create? So there is a limit when it comes to the social media side of it, but definitely from a creative side, you always just try to push them forward a little bit.
Yeah, it's I laugh because it's new technology to us, but for them, it just is.
And
That's
it's
just
easy.
what's out
It's
there.
easy for them.
That's how they're growing up, for sure. All right, to wrap things up with our cool dads today, we would like one piece of advice for new dads out there. If someone is a brand new dad this Father's Day.
I'll tell you that no one told me this when I was having kids. You're not going to see a new movie for a long time. Like,
Hey, you saw Frozen. You told me.
yeah, I saw Frozen not in theaters. I'm telling you, I like new movies. Forget about it because little kids and you're not going out unless you manage all this babysitter stuff, and that's crazy. But so get in all the new movies you can now before you have the kids.
For new dads, just honestly be the best husband you can be. And I think that then that really helps everything along.
You know what? I would say communication. I think the most important thing is if you're on the same page the best you can with your wife, if you're in the toughest time is that first year of having children, and especially if whether it's your first or your second, you still need to communicate. So the more I can communicate with my wife and the more we communicate with each other, I think it at least balances out and helps the rough patches go a little bit easier.
All right,
That sounds so much more serious than mine.
Wow.
Don't watch any movie trailers if you're a new dad, according to Nicholas Pickles. Thank you guys all so much for being here, and most importantly, happy Father's Day to each of you.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you very much.